Hey everybody, I got my glasses fixed. So this is one of my top 10 things post. As you know, the first thing I ever did was my top 10, my top 10 favorite Animaniacs songs, which is either still on my channel or it's gone because of the channel purge. I can't remember, but I think it's gone. Anyway, now I've decided to do the top 10 most immature and terrible things that adults do. And when I say adults, I mean parental units. And now, disclaimer, not all parents are terrible. I mean, I know plenty of parents who are great, and I know plenty of parents who aren't great, who have their great shining moments. I really do. Not all parents are terrible, and not all parents are 100% terrible. However, there are some things that parents do that I can just I can't even condone. I cannot condone this type of behavior. Okay, number one. I remember these don't go in any specific order, so. Number one. The thing I find the most annoying that adults do is when they tell their children that they're too something. So, for example, they're too fat, they're too loud. And when I say too loud, I don't mean when they're screaming and running down the hallway. I mean, that's too loud. I'm saying just their normal voice, and they're saying they're too loud. They're too ugly. They're not talented enough. They're not this enough. They're not that enough. Why would you tell your child that? Why in the world would you tell your child that? That's terrible. That's absolutely the worst thing I've ever heard of in my life. Like, why? This is the baby you made that you love so much and gave it so many things, and yet they're to this and to that because they're not exactly the perfect standard. You know what? That just brings me to number two. Number two is when parents set an exact perfect standard for their children. Like, you have to be this. You have to be that. I hate when the baby is born and they're like, oh, he's going to be a football player. I'm not going to accept anything else, and he's going to be a football player. And, the kid grows up and he's a mathlete. He's a genius. And the dad's just not proud of him because he's not a football player. Like, oh, I'm sorry, did you want your child to be a brain-dead athlete over being an actual genius who contributes to society? I'm sorry, what exactly do you want? Do you even know? I don't think you know. I think it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Another thing I can't stand that parents do, and my parents do this, is when they talk shit about their own kid. Like, they will sit downstairs and talk about their kid behind their back. First of all, this is the most immature thing in the world. Okay, what are we, in middle school now? But also, again, this is the child that you raised and gave birth to and loved and nurtured, and you're just going to sit there and talk about how much of a failure they are? I mean, unless your kid is, the 40-year-old virgin living in your basement, I don't think it's acceptable. And my parents do this to me all the time, and they say shit about me, and they say shit about my friends, and, like, it's not any of your damn concern. I'm an adult myself. Grow up. Please, can you grow up? Do you know how to? Because I'm starting to think you don't know how to. That's a terrible 4. I don't like this program. That's a terrible 4. Number 4, just try to block it out, but it's like in front of my face, like a mustache. No, look, I'm the football. Oh, okay. Ha ha ha. The number 4 thing that parents do that I can't stand is when they decide to not feed their kid as a punishment. No, 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 no. You can stop it right there. That's just not, oh my God, no. Okay, so your child does something wrong and you send them up to bed without giving them food. That's not a punishment. That starving your child is not a punishment. It's really not. Just being like, oh, you can't eat. Oh, you're hungry? Oh, that sucks. That really sucks for you. You're not allowed to be hungry. And I've had my parents do this to me too. My mom's told me I wasn't allowed to be hungry at whatever time it was. I don't know. It was like midnight and I was making mac and cheese. And she woke up and she came downstairs and she was like, you're not allowed to be hungry. You're not allowed to eat. No. No. Please stop. Please stop. That's just terrible. I'm pretty sure I can send you to jail for that. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm pretty sure that's neglect. I hate when parents fight in front of their children, especially when they're at a young age. I remember when I was like 12 or 13 that I was just watching TV and the TV that I watched off of and my dad's computer were in the same room. It was like half his office, half my playroom. And I remember my mom coming in and him and my mom getting into a huge argument and he pushed my mother down onto the floor and hurt her. And I'm just sitting there watching TV. Like, first of all, why would you even get into this sort of fight with your young preteen child right there in the room? Second of all, why would you push your wife down onto the floor? That's not acceptable for your kids to watch. It's not acceptable for your children to hear you arguing about everything in the world. I mean, do you know what kind of thoughts run through their mind? I mean, it's just pop bubbles of like, bloop, or is mommy and daddy gonna get a divorce? Bloop, did I do something wrong? Just bombarding your head and they don't go away. And there's just screaming and shouting and fighting. And I don't think it's acceptable for parents to fight in front of their children. I just don't think that's an okay thing to do. That's just rude. That's just rude. And hypocrites. Don't even get me started on hypocrites. I hate anybody who's hypocritical. I really do. It bothers me so much if you're going to say one thing and do another. But when parents when parents tell their children not to post certain type of things on Facebook and then they go and post certain type of things on Facebook. My boyfriend's father, he told him not to post pictures of him smoking, and yet on his Facebook there's pictures of him with a cigar, there's pictures of him drinking, there's just all sorts of vulgar type of pictures of him all over the place, and he's telling, his son, oh, you shouldn't do that, that's wrong, something's wrong with you, blah, 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 blah. I can't. Don't be a hypocrite. If you're going to tell your children not to do it, then you shouldn't do it. And if you're telling your children not to do it because you do it, and you don't want them to turn out like you, make that clear. Don't make it look like you're a terrible person, and anybody who does that is terrible. But, if I go over here and do it, it's no big deal. Number 7. That 7 looks really bad. Da 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 da. Number 7. It really irritates me, like, to the nth degree, when adults make you do something and yell at you for doing something that you can't do, or that bothers you, and yet they still yell at you for it. A really good example is I'm allergic to pretty much every cleaning product used in this house. And I still clean and do all these things, and I get yelled at because I don't get to finish because I'm having a sneezing fit because I'm allergic to it or something like that. And there are way worse cases out there. Like, the child is not old enough to carry out the trash, not even, child's the height of the trash or not strong enough to carry it out, and their parents yell at them because they physically cannot do it. Like, that's terrible. Like, the child is too young to know how to make his or her bed, and the parents come by and yell at them because they don't know what they're doing because they're 5. Oh no, how dare your 5-year-old not know exactly how to make a bed? Like, are you for real? Like, where did you go to school? You are so psycho. You are super psycho shit. One thing I hate is when parents try to tell you that you did or didn't do something because they're, with no fault of their own, because of age, they are losing their memory, and it's kind of slipping in and out, and they are trying to tell you that you never said something that you clearly said that they just forgot about. And it turns into a big argument over just stupid shit just because they're losing their memory and they need to, and they're trying to be like, oh, I'm not getting old, blah, 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 blah. You're just, that 8 is lopsided. Bye. Bye-bye now. Numero 9. That's a pink. Trying to use different colors. I'm trying to be colorful, and my hair keeps doing things, and Number 9, I cannot stand it when parents discipline their child and don't know the difference between discipline and abuse. There are a lot of parents out there who discipline their child, and I understand spankings. I personally am not a fan of spankings. I would never spank my child. When I have a child, they're not going to get spanked. But I understand that tapping them like that, giving them a little bit of a spank, shows that this is wrong. But when you take out your belt and you whip your child and leave imprints on them, no. I understand that the bar of soap thing used to be a big thing when parents were kids. You said a bad word and they would put a bar of soap in your mouth and it tasted nasty. That's actually really toxic. That's really toxic. Don't do it. It's not a good thing. Just because your parents did it to you doesn't mean you need to be the same level of terrible that your parents were. Plus, back then, it was a common thing to do. And now, it's like, no. We know that this can lead to so many other things. So don't shove soap down your child's throat. It's not edible. If it's not edible, it shouldn't be in your mouth. It really shouldn't. Keep it out. Just no. And we are finally at number 10. The number 10 pet peeve I have that adults do to their children is when they just don't care. The way some parents talk to and treat their children, and they just don't care. This is the mother you find in the supermarket whose baby is screaming at the top of their lungs, and the mom is just sitting there like this, and rolling her eyes and cutting her eyes and just, not even caring that her baby is screaming at the top of his lungs. Those type of people. The type of people who sit around and just smoke in front of their child. Like, here, 3-year-old, take my secondhand smoke. Take it all. Take my secondhand smoke. It's good for you or something. Like, I don't even understand that. Like, don't even, no. What are you doing? Also, another thing that falls under this category is anybody whose kid, is at the park and comes up to them and is like, Mommy, look at the sandcastle I made in the sand pit over here. Or, look at this, look at that. Or, watch me go down the slide. And the mom's just like, yeah, sure, whatever. On her phone. And she's just like, uh-huh. Oh, yeah, I see. Right. Okay. Yeah. Put your phone down. and actually look at your child. That should be your pride and joy, and you should never let anything happen to that child, and blah, blah, blah. And that's also why kids have terrible playground accidents, because their parents aren't paying any attention. Yeah. So those are the top 10 things I hate that adults do that just really irks me that they do to their children or in front of their children. Come on now. Children don't know any better. They're going to learn from us. I mean, for real. So don't forget to like and comment on this video if you liked it or if you have something to comment about it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more videos. And where's that subscription button is down there. Woo! Go click that subscription button. And I hope everybody has a great day. I hope everybody's having a great October. And I think my next video will be something on either immaturity or Halloween. We should brainstorm Halloween costume ideas. I think that is a good idea. That sounds like a great idea, actually. What do you guys want to be for Halloween? What are you going to be for Halloween? Anybody got some fun Halloween parties to go to? I've got a couple I'm going to that are going to be really fun. I'm going to be a witch this year. And I know that sounds like, oh, you're going to be a witch? Wow. Maybe I'll make a childhood post, but I didn't really have Halloween when I was a child. Due to my mother's religion and all that other stuff. So don't forget to one-up me. You know, one-up this video if you liked it. Yeah. That sounds good to me. I'll see you later. I love you all. Mwah. Goodbye, my